We have merch for you at tpublic.com/PatrickBeattyReviews. Whether it be a sweatshirt, a Gaggle of Geeks shirt, whatever you want, check them out, and we will see you at the next review. Please be advised, Gaggle of Geeks contains strong opinions that may contain language unsuitable for young children. Now here are your hosts, Patrick Beatty and Chaz Campbell Evans.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What is up, my Gaggle of Geeks? Or maybe not geeks, because it's Thanksgiving. Turkey time, right? Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Chaz. And a happy birthday to you. I can't believe we got to do the podcast on this day.
Patrick, it's not Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it is. Shut up, Chaz.
No,
we're not doing this. We're not starting.
It's really
already.
not. No, it's really not.
You can't do that to me. If you wanted to start something, like, you could have started at the pre-game and tell us the story of what we're gonna do, but not now.
Wait, did you really forget? Did you forget Thanksgiving? Is that why you didn't wish me happy birthday?
I didn't have any food yesterday, dude. I ate a full turkey today. Alone.
It's not Thanksgiving. I'm just letting you know it's officially Black Friday.
I think you're a fucking idiot. I think it is Thanksgiving. I think I ate mashed potatoes. I think I ate gravy, and I didn't have seconds yet. And I'm gonna be going to those because, man, I on Thanksgiving Day, that is today. I love it.
So when you eat Thanksgiving food, do you dress like that then, or
is there another way to eat Thanksgiving food?
No. Let me ask you a question. Do you peck at it like a turkey, like a?
Do I peck at it?
Yeah. Do you peck at it without using your hands whatsoever? I
think, you know what, before we go any, you just need to admit that it is Thanksgiving.
It's not Thanksgiving. I'm just letting you know it's not Thanksgiving. So.
Oh my God. All right. Well, fuck it. I'm going to stay in it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. We'll do it.
It's not Thanksgiving.
This is trash.
Dude,
all right, let's bring on our guests, because I'm sure now they're very excited to talk with us, Chaz. Man,
why would they talk with us on Thanksgiving? Let's ask that question.
That is a good question. Let's first pitch that question to Rob Irvin. How's it going, man?
I thought it was Wednesday. Is it Thanksgiving? I'm very confused right now. I'm trapped in a really bad time space continuum conundrum. I don't know.
All right. Okay. I'll come clean. I'll come clean. Chaz did know it was Thanksgiving, and he just wanted to start shit still. Either way, he told me at the beginning before all this, he's like, "Hey, man, I know that it is Thanksgiving. We're just gonna pretend that it's not." And
yeah,
you were there, Rob. You saw it, right?
I have paperwork that I have to sign, but yeah.
Yeah, because I totally dressed up as a turkey and said the exact same thing. So.
Mm-hmm. As my favorite movie Gigli once said, it's turkey time. Gobble, gobble. And let's move into our next guest. He's returning to the show from Colt 45 Podcast. It's Randy. How's it going, man?
Yo, what kind of segue was that from the eating out to the, hey, there's Randy Savage.
Eating out? What do you...
That's what that one meant.
I feel like this is going really well.
That was
This is how.
I mean, I'm all for the turkey time, yeah, but
you didn't want a Gigli shout out before we led into it.
Sure.
Okay. Guess I can't do anything right today. All right.
Yes, on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Welcome, everybody, to the show. I brought you two in because we're talking about the movies of 1991. Not to make anybody feel old, this was the year that I emerged forth from my mother's womb. Boom.
Wow.
That was a senior in high school. Can we just put this right off the bat? I think I'm the oldest person on this panel, as given by the amount of gray on my face. This was literally my senior year in high school / first year of college. So, and I worked at the movie theater at the time. So when you told me we were talking about this, I was like, let's go.
Well, then, Rob, tell me more about what the year was like then.
Tell us about the olden times.
Do I need a rocking chair or something? I can go to one of your rooms.
Mom remembers.
When was the time of the
we were in a very strange place as a people. We had just declared the Operation Desert Storm had started that January.
The start of the Neverending
start-
War?
With the official, the line in the sand was drawn January 15th, 1991.
Okay.
So there was a lot of patriotism going on at the time. We were getting ready to go into an election that we didn't understand, which welcome to that. But I think cinematically, this was a really weird year because you've got Schwarzenegger, you've got Oliver Stone, arguably one of his best films, and you've got Vanilla Ice. So you have a mix there and a gambit that is run in this year that there were things I saw that made me cringe, and there were things that made me go, oh, I was blocking that out of my head. But going through the list of movies from that year, it was a good movie year for film overall, but man, there were some turds.
Wow. We are going to get into those turds later on. That's a great segue as well.
Let's get into these turds.
If there's one thing we like dumpster diving
Gobble,
into,
gobble.
it's smelly, filthy turds. Yes.
Happy
But
Thanksgiving,
before we
guys.
do that, it's time for our long-held tradition of all of these movies of decade films. It is time for... It's always so intense at the end, needlessly, but we like it. It is the time where I have about 10 or so trailers from 1991, just the sounds, and you are to guess what trailer the sound is coming from. Is there any other rules to this, Chaz? Chaz has to lose. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to give you guys give you guys some chances because I'm so good at this.
Oh, okay.
And he sends me them. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't send me.
The man is gracious, if nothing
I
else.
am the best, and you guys are just my pawns.
Oh, should we say real
Mongo
quick?
just spawned in Game of Life.
Let's plug, I guess, Matinee Heroes, because you just won your episode of Cast Off. Oh snap!
Wait to destroy all that movie.
Did Chaz freeze? Oh, he froze on such a weird face, just like. It's like
Am
a
I
free,
froze?
yeah. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, just the ending. Fade to black. Oh, he still can. Oh, he gone. Oh man.
What?
Well, I guess that's the end. That's all for that guy. Okay.
Oh, well.
No worries. Well,
I'll be
let's talk.
back.
Let's talk while we wait. We have Randy and Rob. Rob, me and you went head to head on our cast off, and all of us have mingled
Yeah.
at some point, haven't we?
I haven't gone up against Randy yet,
No.
Ah, gotcha.
but
Well,
that
what do
is
you
my
guys think of
goal.
this new season? That
It's,
they have?
it's me and Valerie this week.
Ooh.
Ooh, I remember. Yes, that's fair. That's going to be a good one.
And let me tell you something. I am declaring shenanigans
Oh,
because he made me watch the Royal Tenenbaums again.
Oh.
and that's a bad thing.
That movie is so pretentious. It's just like,
What?
I'm all
not
about
a
not
fan.
watching these things. Like, just go in and not watch any of them.
Run this like you run it, dude. There's just no. Plus, that would be gimmick infringement if I did.
Yeah, that's my thing. I run into these things just like anyone else would if they're making a movie. Just like, well, all right, what's the premise? And then you move on.
Well, Patrick and I did Jurassic Park,
Ah,
and that was a lot of fun. We actually first game out of the gate, and then we went to a tiebreaker.
Yep.
So, and that, I mean, Craig does such a great job over there. Chaz was on this week taking on one of my co-hosts. Actually, my show is represented 3 weeks in a row. The lady of the house, Jen Rome, was this past week. I'll be on this week. My co-host Alex will be on the following week. So, and if you haven't checked out Cast Off, do so. It is a lot of fun. The group of people that we get to hang out with and do this with is amazing. Randy, I'm looking forward to having you on one of my shows here very, very soon.
Cool.
So I got a
Come
wrestling
on.
podcast that you do and a pop culture podcast. So we'll have to have you on when we're back in studio, and we'll
Okay.
talk about all that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
but Chaz, you won your match. How do you feel being in the ring now?
Oh, good. I'm sorry. I lagged out there. I might lag out again. If I lag out, let me know because
Lag out.
yeah. No, I thought it was really cool. I thought Jen had a lot of great choices, so I was really surprised. I was nervous actually right from her first pick. I was like, oh, shit, she knows her, she knows her stuff.
She has good knowledge of comics. She really does.
Yeah.
And when I saw, I didn't get to watch the previous episode live. I was on my way home, and I get a text from her that says, "Do you have a copy of Watchmen?" And I was like, "Oh, he gave her Watchmen."
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a tough movie. So
No, it's rough.
Let's travel back in time, everybody, to 1991 and start with our first trailer, which is
Wednesday, play with your food.
Is this made from real lemons? Yes. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
That is the softball. The first Addams Family came out in November 1991. I actually saw that and Beauty and the Beast on the same day.
That's a good double feature.
So yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she really wanted to see Beauty and the Beast. I wanted to see Addams Family. So we actually went to 2 different theaters and saw those back to back. We're getting the animated sequel, I think, next year.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Which I like that.
Oscar Isaac is
Gomez.
That's gonna
I
be-
really enjoyed that animated film. I did.
I didn't see it. I just like after Raoul, I was like, man, I'm not gonna watch these anymore.
I weirdly really loved this film growing up. The Addams Family is so much fun.
And you got MC Hammer for the sequel. So
I know, right?
the Addams Family Groove is what
Yep. All right, moving on to the next one, which is
Is anyone here?
Mama, there's a girl in the castle.
Good.
Girl, the classic story.
Okay. Yes, double feature.
Now there's your segue right there. Only film to be nominated for best, only animated film to ever be nominated for best picture. Is that correct?
Yep.
And it was, in 1992. I remember seeing the teaser poster for this and going, "Oh, we're doing this after The Little Mermaid. Okay, let's go." And I love this movie. I didn't dig the live action remake as much because I love the animated version so much.
I spent an
Yeah, 'cause it was
afternoon just
unnecessary.
digging into this movie with one of the like really cool chicks that I know, and it's just like, doesn't make sense why this 12-year-old boy gets cursed because this old lady just didn't get inside. It's like, and then just like we were just like, oh yeah, he is like 12.
And wasn't this the first film that combined traditional animation and CGI
Yes,
animation?
the ballroom
One
dancing
that, like,
sequence
actually
was a
put
huge part.
CGI
Yeah.
in it. Yeah, that's cool.
Robbie Benson checking in.
Yas.
Yeah, it's queen.
All right, moving to the next one, which is
Once they made history.
I must see to it that you die.
Now they are history.
It's the Grim Reaper, dude. How's it hanging, Death?
Totally
sir.
bro.
Yes.
This is how I
Bill
do
and
my
Ted's
white people voice.
Bogus Journey. I still haven't seen the new one yet, and I've been wanting to.
Yeah,
you should watch it.
I don't want to. I
very-
feel like it might
it's-
ruin my
it's on my
childhood.
list for sure.
what? Watch this movie. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is so weird and fun. Like, it's the weirdest type of sequel where it's just like, this isn't at all what you guys were doing in the last one, but
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, it's
let's keep going.
How do you
Remember when we
remember
did this
time
thing with
travel?
history? Just put that aside. We're going to do something completely different. And I have scars from Bergman's The Seventh Seal, so that didn't help me a lot with this film.
Station. That's probably the weirdest part of the whole thing when where they just like ram into each other and create this enormous, huge battle station.
Yeah, it's like
It's
like
kind
you
of like
think the greatest scientist in the universe would be from Earth? It's like, oh, I guess that does make sense.
What did Jodie Foster say in Contact? If we're the only ones out there, it's an awful big waste of space.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh god. Okay. Moving on to our next one, which is
What's your connection with this fella? I was his lawyer. But you shackled him somehow, right?
What was he in prison for?
No, really. What did you do? Have you been following me? It's a small town. Every way you turn, I guess we're gonna run into each other.
any guesses? No? No one?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No.
Wow. I'm surprised.
I thought maybe Class Action?
Yeah, I was thinking of something like that.
Listen, pay attention to the end. The big character does one of his iconic things that you see a lot even in the the Megaplex like trailers to the trailer stuff that they do
Okay.
sometimes. So watch again.
Somebody's out there.
What's your connection with this fella? I was his lawyer. But you shackled him somehow, right?
What was he in prison for?
No, really. What did you do? Have you been following me? It's a small town. Every way you turn, I guess we're gonna run into each other.
Hot Shots.
I was gonna say Mississippi Burning.
Yeah.
All right. Cape Fear.
Oh,
Cape
great
Fear.
remake.
I was
Martin
thinking
Scorsese,
kind of like Robert De Niro, but I was
Robert
like,
De Niro. Oh man, it was so good.
sounded like the Joker for a
Kidnap
second.
you a little
there.
bit. I'll kidnap you a little bit.
Yeah.
Small
And
town,
him
right?
hiding underneath the car. That
Yeah.
that shot every time. I love
That's
it.
a Scorsese film I haven't seen.
Whoa, you should check that
Really?
out. It's a
Yeah.
good one. I like
And
that.
I would say you could watch the original and that back to back and still love both of them. That's one of the very few instances for me that I can watch a remake and it doesn't like I don't sit there and just like about the original. They're both really, really good.
Okay.
Next one is I haven't been keeping track who's been winning.
Not
We're
me.
all winners.
We're just
All
like,
right.
yeah, we're like,
Moving
oh,
on.
I love this movie. And then we don't say what it is. We're just like, yeah, whatever.
Next one is
Boy and girl meet, they fall in love, they say I do. I was wrong. That's getting married. A wedding is an entirely different proposition.
Father of the Bride.
yes.
Which was one of two films that Steve Martin did that year that I really dug. The other one being L.A. Story,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
which I really, really, that's one of those films that you got to be in the right mood to watch it. But if you are, it's really well done. But, you know, and then we had that, didn't they do a reunion this year where they did a script read with the cast?
They may have.
Yes.
I think
On
a
Netflix
lot of
or
places
something?
just went ahead and did script readings and reunions. That Josh Gad setting up all his reunited parts.
Mr. and Mrs. Bonson, a lovely bride. Martin Short, just over the top, chewing scenery like he's at a buffet.
Mhm. Speaking of maybe over the top,
The stories are true. He's come back to seek his revenge. Only you can save your children.
Hook.
If you read a comic book at all in 1991, the teaser poster for this was on the back cover of every comic book that year. Just the hook itself,
Mhm.
and that thing took everything by storm when it dropped.
well, how would you say that it's kind of dated from this point? Because it's kind of trashed and admired in both senses. Like there's always one side of Twitter and the other side that are going at each other.
It's okay.
It's a sensory overload when you watch it because there's just so much going on at any given moment on the screen. I haven't watched it recently, so I can't say whether it holds up or not. But I remember seeing it, and it wasn't my favorite film of the year. But I was like, I'd watch this again if it was on.
Dustin Hoffman's Hook is weird. That's kind of all.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
I
only
really
part
like
where it's like that. It's weird in a good way, you know. Like he looks like Hook forever and ever in my head.
And
But when
Julia
you think about
Roberts,
it later on, you're like, oh, that was Dustin
Oh,
Hoffman.
Julia,
Julia
Oh,
Roberts
yeah.
actually was so self-conscious. She had a person whose entire job was to constantly make sure her feet were perfect for every scene. That is
Really?
a true story. Mhm.
Was his name Quentin Tarantino?
It might have been. I mean, we're talking about Juliette Lewis, and then you take that to From Dusk Till Dawn in that scene.
I just want to look at the feet.
I just want to make sure they're fine.
I know I'm not saying I'm not spoiling. I just want to look at the feet. All right, moving to the next one, which is
Total commitment. It's a real thin line between life and death. I'm not a crook. It's not tragic to die doing what you love. If you want the ultimate, you gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.
Wow.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
The girlfriend I
am
mentioned
an
in college earlier,
FBI
this
agent.
movie was her first date.
Oh, nice. All right, the movie Point Break.
Did not bother with the remake.
Yeah.
Well, they did do.
They
They did
there
like
was a
multiple
remake of
remakes.
this one.
Because, like, would you call Fast and Furious a remake? Of
Yeah,
this?
it's a remake
Kind
of
of.
the Steve McQueen film.
Okay, definitely. Is it really?
Mm-hmm. From
What?
the 70s.
No.
It's called The
Everything's a
Fast
remake.
and the Furious.
Yeah, but isn't that
This is why
like,
the Lost don't play
Nothing
trivia.
is new. We've been remaking things for decades.
I can't do it.
Nothing is new.
Okay.
Patrick's now re-questioning, even asking me to be on the show.
No. It's no what I am. I'm like that John
on,
Cena
old John,
gif
tell us
where he's
about
just
the old
like,
John.
what? I feel like I've been betrayed my entire life.
What do you mean this is not the original?
No.
Usually, Starling.
Not yet, sir.
He's past the others. The last cell. I'll be watching. You'll do fine.
A killer is on the loose.
Keeps them alive for 3 days. Then he shoots them, skins them, and dumps them.
Hello, Clarice.
You hear the lamb screaming, Paris. This was like a Valentine's Day release.
That makes
So romantic.
91.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Demme just going for broke. We're going to release this on Valentine's Day. And
For
then
the lovers.
92, your Valentine's Day release was Wayne's World. So
Come in hungry,
what
folks.
you're paying for it. But this week had this at my theater, and it packed every show for about a month and a half. Because at the time, the book was so highly touted that people were like, can they pull this off? And
Okay.
this movie put tons of people in therapy. Tons.
So how many, since it was out on Valentine's Day, how many couples do you think were like, hey, let's go back home and try to like recreate some of these
Whoa.
scenes?
I grew up in South
many-
Florida, so
how many-
anything's possible.
Oh,
I'm saying.
Look,
yeah.
Look, I'm on TV, so I've got to keep things, relatively good. But, however, how many husbands tucked their penis between their legs at the end of the?
Jay Muse has scarred that for life, I think, for a lot of people. But I remember when the teaser trailer or the teaser poster first hit, and that's the image that's behind you on the screen, Patrick, but it was just the moth. And if you looked close enough at the moth, the skull pattern on the moth were human bodies, and I was like, this is going to get real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's probably the best Photoshop job I did. I was so proud of this picture, Chaz. I like what I put. You can't really see him, but he is the fly. Like that's his face on the fly. It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's cool.
No, I thought you did a good job. I thought it was very clever. I didn't know how you were going to pull, like, if you were going to pull the Silence of the Lambs off, that's not what I thought would be. I thought it would be like
Just
you being Hannibal and me being Clarice.
And it was like the more they visited it, the worse it was getting. Like you do Hannibal, and that was just a disaster. And then they tried to go and do Manhunter again, and that didn't work. It's just like, leave this movie alone.
Did you watch Silence of the Lamb win Best Picture?
Yeah,
I believe it did.
That's awesome. It's the first time a horror film won Best Picture. No.
Is it a horror film or is it a thriller film?
Okay, that's a horror film.
No, yeah,
Silence of the
that's
Lambs is a horror film. If you consider Seven a horror film, then you have to consider this.
I don't consider Seven a horror film.
You don't?
This is
What?
also.
Dude, that's a hardcore neo-noir
All the
film.
traits of a horror film.
I think this is also in the medal round of most memed references of a film of all time, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep, that is true. Okay, moving into.
How come Daryl let you go? Because I didn't ask him. He's gonna kill you.
I left him a note.
A wild turkey straight up and a Coke back, please.
Thelma.
Oh, what? Tell me something. Is this my vacation or isn't it?
Thelma and Louise, very young Brad Pitt as the man of the hour in this particular film. We had this one at my theater too, and I've watched the last scene of that 140 times because I was ushering at the time.
Oh, nice. Don't you love that when you're an usher, you could just kind of stand back and like you get the half hour every time.
Well, I was balancing usher and projectionist at the same time.
Oh, but that back when they let people do that because when because I worked at
projectionist is
Cinemark,
one of
they
my
didn't
favorite
let you.
jobs ever. I love being a projectionist.
So cool.
Loved it.
I feel that along with like Blockbuster employee when they were just starting, or like small town video rental store. Those are the best jobs to have in the 90s.
I was a part-time Blockbuster manager just after I moved to Texas.
We
And
have
that
a
was-
connection with a Blockbuster employee. That's crazy.
It was to get 3 free rentals a week. And like one week I did all 3 Shaft films in a weekend and my employees are like, "What's that?" I was like, "I will punch you." As soon as I'm done watching these this weekend, every one of you is going to rent these in order, and you're going to watch them.
Yeah, I think that's how I would feel if you guys did not guess this film.
New York, a city where 8 million can scarf down their slices in safety, knowing that when pizza is close by, help is never far away.
I hate this movie so much, Patrick. I'm sorry.
Ninja Rap has invaded.
Oh,
Secret of the Ooze. God bless you.
Oh.
Now,
How do you get a job here? There,
third one sucks, but this one's okay.
Turtles in Time with Kevin Nash as Super Shredder.
Turtles in Time is ridiculous. No. Is that the third one? Turtles in Time?
Turtles in Time is the third one. Secret of the
Super
Ooze is the
Shredder's in
second.
the end of the Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah,
Super
because that's where
Shredder.
you've got Vanilla Ice with Ninja Rap.
Do you guys think that Zack Snyder looked at Super Shredder and was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
Steppenwolf"?
Totally. Well, when the first one came out, the guy that played the police lieutenant actually came to my theater before it came out, and he saw the poster, and he was like, "Yes, I'm in that." And I was like, "That's not a character,
What
but I'll
theater
take your
is this?
autograph
It sounds
anyway."
incredible.
Are you a turtle?
And then we had the midnight showing that you always used to do when you worked at the theater with all your friends would come in, and we were like, dude, that's totally the dude that was here the other day. He gave us an autograph, and I had it for years. Yeah, that second one was bad, but that third one was atrocious.
The second one is not bad. It's incredible, all of you. Chaz, why do you hate
It's
it?
incredibly bad, dude.
I'm on your side.
How could you hate it? Wait, you're on my side, Randy?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I need someone on my side in this.
That's fine.
Because are you surprised though? Because like when we covered the first one, I was like, oh dear fucking god.
You didn't like the first one either? Well, then you're
No.
You're
Those are my worst
One's a
list.
time capsule,
Your
though.
opinions aren't valid.
The
Your
first one's a time capsule because when you go back and you watch the first one and you look at it in the time frame that it was in, that was revolutionary.
It is
was
so
next
good,
level.
even today.
Oof. Just oof.
Next level animatronics. And then
The only thing about the first one that kills me is this line. Splinter. That one hurts every time. Oh,
No, man, there's so many quotable lines. 10 flips now.
Yeah.
For like Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
And they always
And
do-
go ninja, go.
Vanilla Ice. Rob mentioned Vanilla Ice doing that song and then them just going up on the dance floor and just like doing a whole dance before Shredder shows back up. And then they blow him up by the power of a voltage amplifier. That was amazing.
how old were you
Boombox
when you made
exploded
the
and he just
Daredevil
burst out.
Turtles connection?
I was young.
Ooh, 31.
I distinctly remember being around, probably around 5 or 6, watching Turtles in Time. You know, the opening sequence, it's kind of like a weird, like, everybody is suddenly being like, I like swords, I like staff, and they're doing their dances. I was right with them through the whole thing, like violently shaking my hands back and forth like I have something, and then my mom looking at me thinking they might have made a mistake.
That Toys That Made Us episode is really good. How they go through how all that happened, and yeah,
Interesting.
it's fascinating.
Well, spoiler alert, Chaz. It's in my top 3. Let's go to the next one. God damn it.
Dr. Leo Marvin was making other plans.
As of this afternoon, I'm taking my family on vacation until Labor Day.
But Leo's vacation is about to become
Dr. Marvin! I really appreciate this.
I do not see patients on vacation, ever.
We just gotta figure out a way to work around your schedule.
Why wasn't this on my list?
Wait, what'd you call it?
I thought this was later. I didn't realize this was 91.
Yeah, what? This didn't come up on-
Give me. I need.
And they did a series of Funkos on this film too. On What About Bob?
I love What About Bob. It's such a good film. So funny.
I haven't seen it in forever though.
Well, that's all I've got. So I think we're all winners in that, except for Chaz. And I think
I don't like these movies.
Chad was like, I mean, why?
Chaz, I gotta ask because I was watching you through these. You weren't really as jump the gun at him as you were with others. What happened?
I gotta be honest with you, man. There's a lot of movies in this year I have not seen. I was born in '94. Just to give you guys context, I was born in 94, so.
There's one of these movies that I hadn't seen until like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that came out in '91." All right.
Well,
It was a weird year in film.
I know.
It was so strange.
Well, there's a movie that I watched on behalf of Sean Connery's passing that is in this year.
The Quickening.
That's on one of my lists, so I'm excited to talk about that.
If Randy just mentioned it, there's a great bit about that Craig Ferguson does that I absolutely love.
Wait, what did Randy say?
The Quickening. I did that on the episode we did.
Highlander 2, The Quickening.
That's what I was going back to. It was
It's like where he talks about the brilliance of Sean Connery because no matter what he does, he doesn't do any accents. It's
no,
like
he doesn't do accents. I'm a movie star.
For the hunt for Red October. F you. I'm a Russian sub commander. I'm a Spaniard. God,
so who
I
has
got Christopher
that on one of
Lambert,
their
the
lists?
Frenchman, playing a Scotsman.
What's up, Patrick?
Who has this on one of their lists? Because that will be the first person to go. Chaz, all right. You're the first to go. What do we choose between the best, worst, and underrated or recommended?
Well, I don't know. What do you guys want to go with first?
Worst is first.
It's your house, man. You tell us what you want to do, and that's what
Worst,
we'll do.
Worst is
worst
first.
is first. Okay,
Worst
okay.
is first.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I have Child's Play 3.
And that franchise is still going.
Can't believe it.
That remake was dear god awful.
Aren't we still getting a television series too?
I don't know, man.
Why is it still a thing? Why is it still a thing?
Then I have our dear Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on there.
Patrick was almost in mid-drink.
What?
And then, as Randy said, that
Sorry,
sounds
go ahead.
really weird, man.
I know, it's really uncomfortable.
As Randy said, yes, Highlander 2, The Quickening. So I watched the first one. I watched both these like for the first time a couple days ago because my dad's like, "You should watch the first one. It's like cult classic." And then
the
like,
first Highlander is amazing.
yeah. I'm like, this is cool. And like you said with Sean Connery's accent, he's the only Scottish actor in the whole movie, and he's not even the Scottish
Spaniard
person. Yeah,
I'm Egyptian.
it's so fucking
That's
weird.
the brilliance of that, man, is that you didn't care. Like you're like, all right, I'm there with you. I'm right there. With you. I'm right there with you.
I'm not even here for you.
So, but I felt like The Quickening undid a lot of that. So, yeah,
Okay.
fuck that movie.
Oh,
Yeah. That's a good pick. I like those.
Even
Randy,
you like Teenage too?
Yeah, I really do. Great job. Damn it. I'm being catty, man. I don't know why. I got this mood today. I'm just going with it. But Randy, what was your picks for the bottom three?
The bottom three. Let's see. Well, I just picked 10 that I really liked, but I'm gonna go with these three that I like. Okay. So I got Nothing But Trouble.
with Digital Underground, baby, yeah. With Dan Aykroyd, Demi Moore, and Digital Underground.
It was I have vague memories of actually seeing this.
So weird, and it's like take Time Bandits and put hip hop in it. That's what Nothing But Trouble is. It's that weird. It's such a strange film.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so weird.
We just watched this one for our podcast. Freddy is Dead.
The Final Nightmare.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that
had
hot garbage.
It had about 5 minutes of 3D in it.
Yeah.
And when the girl put
Yes, it
her
did.
glasses on, you put your glasses on.
I'm the copy I saw, but it was just because
I saw it in theatrically. I remember the theater I saw it in too. It was right up the street from my dorm.
Were you like, this is the future?
I was like,
this is the next time.
I was more like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
It's all it was
Like what
for me.
3D is like now. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. And let's see. I'm gonna go with and Hudson Hawk. That was that's the one I've seen, and I was like,
and the failed video game that followed it.
I was like,
yeah.
There's a part of me that it felt like I liked this, and then I watched it again, and I was like, no, I don't know what I was on.
You realize about halfway through you're just hate watching it at a certain point.
It's like, what are you doing with history and stuff? Stop that.
And I want to tie my album to this. God bless you, Bruce Willis. Somebody has to.
No one wants Bruno. No one wants Bruno. You take that with Seagal, and you just burn it all.
Well, he had a movie that year. Remember, Out for Justice was that year, where he was a cop breaking the rules, taking on the mob, which also kept a pattern. Like his first 6 movies, if you watch them, they're all 3-word titles, and there's an article in the middle. Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Out for Justice. Yeah, go through. There's a pattern up until On Deadly Ground. Up until Under Siege. They're all 3-word titles with an article.
Well, I do have similar bottoms with you guys, so I'll list mine with Freddy's Dead. The Final Nightmare was on mine. Chucky 3 also on mine, and the one that we've not gotten to yet, but it might be on Rob's, Star Trek 5.
Oh,
yeah.
They redeemed it. They did redeem it with 6. Actually, that's not on mine. Mine, I don't have anything like any of you guys' bottom 3 because I kind of went to the well on this.
Ooh. Deep dived on this one.
We're going to start with Double Impact. Jean-Claude Van Damme playing twins.
Whoa.
If that was remade, do you think Nicolas Cage could pull that off?
No, it's going to be remade by Michael Jai White, and it's going to come to Netflix.
Lindsay Lohan or nothing.
They already did Sudden Death, and they just renamed it to Welcome to Sudden Death.
You can't mention Vanilla Ice in 1991 and not mention Cool as Ice.
You know, I thought you were only referencing Secret of the Ooze. So he
remember he had his own movie.
About being a douchebag.
Yep.
And that was the movie.
It was his 8 Mile?
No.
It wasn't even like semi-autobiographical. It was like him and motorcycles. That was it.
Yeah, right. It was just him trying to bang some hot chick, and that's it. The end.
It was like, hey, remember Rad? Put Vanilla Ice in that. And I'm going a little obscure here, but for the time, it was supposed to be a huge deal, and it fell on its face. It was a movie that was called If Looks Could Kill. This was Richard Grieco trying to break out from 21 Jump Street. So, we have the trailer for Cool as Ice.
Oh, no.
I'll put a pause because I want you guys to witness this.
Oh, no.
Their values are from the 50s.
There's the driving.
Are from the 60s. And their music is from the 70s.
Let's start chasing.
So, are we having fun yet or what?
But now,
oh wow,
this sleepy little town
people
is about to become cool as ice.
Oh my God.
This happened, people.
This was a movie that people paid money to see.
This is not an SNL sketch. This really happened. Universal distributed this.
See you later, Dick.
Oh,
yeah. Nick.
What?
This really happened.
See you later,
This
Dick.
got a wide release theatrically.
All right, so I have no excuse to finish my scrolling now. That's what it is. That's what it is. But every time I see one of these, it's like, you have no excuse.
This will haunt your dreams.
No excuse.
Hold on. I gotta hear this one more time.
Play it again.
One more time.
See you later, Dick. It's oh yeah. Nick.
Dude, is that your new soundbite?
Movie.
Can we just have that in frame the entire time? That little screenshot.
Oh.
He looks like a TikToker.
He is.
Douche.
He's on TikTok.
The original TikToker.
Oh God.
Sometime I'll have to
was
tell you
worth
the
it. That
actual
was worth the
story if you
segue.
don't know about how his whole thing unraveled. But my other one, If Looks Could Kill, Richard Grieco trying to break out of 21 Jump Street, plays a kid on a field trip in Europe that's mistaken for a spy. Yeah.
That sounds intriguing, though. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
mean,
It's so bad it almost comes back around.
Like it might work, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
It's rough.
Tip us back over to the lighter side. What are your top fives? Well, top threes.
T2.
Yep.
You can't deny Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's easily the best of the series.
I'm just kidding.
It's like, no, garbage movie.
It took filmmaking to a different level, and then Cameron did stupid boat movie a few years later. New Jack City is one of my favorite films of that year. I own the
just referencing
soundtrack.
Titanic, stupid boat movie.
That's what I call that movie.
I would make that movie if I knew the
Confidential.
paycheck was going to come afterwards. I was
LA
like, yeah.
Confidential is a better film. But no, New Jack City, like that movie, if you can get past the fashion of it, the story holds up. When you have Judd Nelson, who has like 3 lines in the whole film and almost steals it. Like he looks at the Breakfast Club and just goes, "Your funeral." Like,
from Breakfast Club.
And that was what started Ice-T really into acting. Was he had gone from gangster rapper to playing a cop, and a lot of people were like, "I have questions."
And then Dick Wolf was like, "Yo, SVU."
Yeah. Well, I think he did Homicide Life.
So
on
you're telling me this guy gets off on girls with pigtails?
It's got an amazing soundtrack, which I owned on cassette and CD, and it's in my phone right now. It introduced the world to Color Me Bad, and that is true. But Wesley Snipes in this film is one of the best villains you'll ever see, because he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing is wrong, and he still just does it and doesn't care. Chris Rock has a great turn in this as well, as a junkie who just can't get out of his own way. Before really, he had just started on SNL at this point. Amazing job there.
What's this called?
It's called New Jack City, and it's Mario Van Peebles is in this. Before he decided he was just going to direct and then direct badly. But like I said, this film is so well done. I remember I saw the trailer and I was like, I'm in. I want to go to there right now. And it's really, the music is strong. The music actually is its own character in the film, because some of the people on the soundtrack are performing in the clubs, kind of like they did with New York Undercover on Fox for a few years, which is another one of my favorite shows. But New Jack City's up there for me. Going to a third one, and this is a guilty pleasure movie, and I'm not afraid to say it. And if it's on, I will stop down. Doc Hollywood. Michael J. Fox as the plastic surgeon on his way to a new life in Los Angeles gets derailed in a small town, and he runs, instead of paying the fines for running through somebody's property, he has to be this small town doctor to work off his debt. David Ogden Stiers is in this, playing a Southern gentleman as he does. Julie, what is her name? Plays the female lead. She's also the same girl that Nancy Travis is the female lead in this. I was thinking Julie from Tommy Boy. It's a completely different actress. And it's just a fun movie, and you get to see Michael J. Fox being Michael J. Fox in 1991.
I'm sad that he's retiring, but that whole
yeah.
Anyway, moving on to Randy. That was a horrible segue. That's horrible.
It's such a sad time. We'll lose such a great actor. So, what did you think, Randy? What is your movies? The best ones that didn't include Michael J. Fox.
I should have just turned right to the camera and said Parkinson's, and then moved into the next thing. So, because
diseases running rampant. No.
What are your top three?
So
you said you had 10, so list off whatever you want.
Okay, so I only picked 5, but I'll go with 3. So Addams Family was on my list. I really just like that. It's that I like that that huge explosive outburst he does in the middle of the movie is like, a fake, a charlatan, a base deceiver. And I was like, yes, this is what I'm here for.
Well, and the chemistry with Raul Julia and Angelica Houston is nothing short of brilliant.
It is next level. It's like what relationships should be, because they're madly in love with each other, and it actually kind of shows. And it's like it's really.
Well, and that line that when they played the trailer, Christina, are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Yeah. She's the best, and Terminator 2, because I did a whole podcast on Terminator 2, and I retconned it, and now Terminator is part of the Rick and Morty universe because it makes sense to me. Because why would you build a time machine if you were just going to try and fix the Earth that was already destroyed? And it made sense for me. Like, he made a portal to leave Earth altogether, and
especially when you watch the director's cut versus the theatrical cut, because that director's cut gives you so much more depth into the story.
See, I knew there was more.
That wasn't there theatrically.
Yeah. See, I knew there was more. Had to have been more. And let's see, my last one. I chose Silence of the Lambs because, I really not so much. I don't know. I like this one, but I also like Hannibal with Julianne Moore, and I also like the TV show. And it's just I like the TV show more because it's like a big secret I know that the audience knows, but everyone inside this show doesn't know. Is like, that guy's a murderer and he's eating people, and they're like, Dr. Hannibal, I think you're going to be a great help for all of us. And oh yeah, I'm going to be just fine.
You almost have to treat them as separate entities so you can enjoy them better. And, they did Mindhunter even before that with William Peterson, which was the first.
I did see that one. Yeah.
And then they remade that. You have to treat them as separate entities just because the bar gets set so high.
Yeah. And just because Anthony Hopkins always brings it every time he shows up.
Yes, sir.
He's just, and that he's got so many quotable lines, and well, she's a big old fat person, and I just going into this, it's great. And I've actually read the book and stuff. And I don't ever do that with movies.
Great Criterion of that too.
Okay,
it was a really good Criterion treatment of that film.
That's for sure.
Well, adding things.
Chaz didn't like any of your choices. He bailed.
Well, can I give you a couple of honorable mentions while we're waiting for him?
Yeah,
do it.
JFK was that year.
Oh, yeah.
You can't leave that off of any list.
All right.
Drop Dead Fred was that year.
Yeah, I was it's in my list. And I was like, yeah, because that was when I started having real imaginary friends.
Cape Fear, we saw that. We talked about that earlier. Cape Fear was that year. Boys in the Hood was that year. One of the first movies as an adult that made me cry.
Oh wow!
Because that was John Singleton's film school project.
What?
Yep, that was Regina King's first film and Ice Cube's first film.
What?
Dang.
Another guilty play. Oh, yeah, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves was that year.
Yeah, I seen that one. That was a good one.
Michael Kamen's score takes that to the next level. Barton Fink was that year. The Fisher King was that year.
Hold on, let me give you my top three because you're.
Okay,
I'm going to sit over here. 91 was not that bad, guys.
Patrick, go before I steal any more thunder.
All right, Barton Fink. That was on my list, but now it's off because I went Terminator 2 because I kind of forgot about it until you guys told me about it was on you guys' list.
You could almost put Barton Fink on the other list too.
Yeah.
That we haven't gotten to yet.
Yep, our recommendations. It totally could fit there too. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Use. I don't give a shit. That was an integral.
I love this movie. I will fight you to death.
This is the hill he wants to die on.
That's the hill.
Yes, I will die on this hill. That is no problem. Because it influenced my, those films where it's like, I don't care how horrible it is. I spent way too much time as a kid loving it to go back and be like, it's not that good, I can't do that with Batman and Robin.
Surf Ninjas on a loop back to back. So I was like, yeah.
Yep. Oh man, the commercials before with the VHS tape, they had a Burger King commercial, then they had, I think, the surf one, and then there's a Hulk Hogan movie that came out.
Suburban Commando?
Suburban Nanny.
That one. I remember that a lot. And the let's see, the third one that I had. Well, actually, I gave the third. Cool. I think he's back.
I think I got my Hulk Hogan movies mixed up with Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny.
Oh snap! Yeah. We got Vertical. He's going for it.
I'll give you another guilty pleasure movie from that year. Do you remember Toy Soldiers?
It's like
Will Wheaton.
Same level of
is in
nothing
it.
but trouble. It's like I remember seeing this. I don't remember anything about it.
It was a bunch of kids that went to a military boarding school, and terrorists took it over because they were all sons of really rich people.
Yeah.
And so the sons are the ones that have to rebel against the terrorists.
I remember vaguely a soccer ball being like important.
Yes.
Okay, good. That was the movie I actually
You
saw.
are correct, sir. That was guilty. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead was that year.
I remember that one.
Which Keith Coogan is an amazing human that I've gotten to meet on a couple of. But he and his wife are two of the cutest people you'll ever meet in your entire life. The 5 Heartbeats was that year with Robert Townsend. It's a fictionalized like story of a doo-wop group in the 60s because they couldn't use the names of Temptations or the Four Tops.
Black guys, musical thing.
I'm gonna hold off because the other one I have over here is Showdown in Little Tokyo. Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee.
Oh wow,
that's one you need to check out. It's one of those that it's. I'm not even going to call it guilty pleasure. Okay. It's one of those like if it's on, I will stop down.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Chaz, how are you?
There he is.
I think you're muted, Chaz.
No, can't hear you.
Sorry. I hate my
Thing.
internet. I hate my internet, so we're good.
Alive.
There he is.
I love that you got that. Like you're just like quick about it. You're like, let's figure out a jerry rig. Let's do this on the phone.
Yeah, it's like that's
commitment. Have a plan B.
Then I was trying to connect
watching him. I was like, whoa, he's going.
Well, I was trying to connect it to my phone, and then like I blocked the access to my microphone with Chrome, so I had to like go through all the different settings to try and unblock it. You
didn't get to do your toilet list, did you?
No.
My shitter?
Yeah, your bottom list.
Yeah, let's hear that.
Shitters and hitters.
Let's do it.
Oh, I did the shitters. That was like the Highlander and all that shit.
Yeah, he did the first. He was the very first. Worst was first.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, why don't you lead off the underrated? Because I'm
underrated.
What your thoughts are on that.
All right.
Cape Fear is number. Yeah, Cape Fear needs to be in my underrated list. Did you say Patrick or Chaz?
That's it, Patrick. It's your show, man. It's your house.
I don't know.
Well, did Chaz do his best?
I believe, Did you do? Oh, you didn't do best. That's what we were
best.
thinking.
That's
okay.
Yeah, I didn't do best.
Let's go.
Do best
all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll hurry. Silence of the Lambs. I absolutely loved.
Yep.
T2, like everybody's mentioned, and I also have Barton Fink, which is the Coen Brothers film.
Nice.
Look at that.
I want to say they did a really good criterion for that too, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
Time to look it up.
All right. Top 3 underrated. I put Cape Fear, I put What About Bob, and I put Scorchers because why not?
Scorchers, wow.
Yeah, I went there.
Okay.
I'll defer to Chaz on this. I'm interested to hear his underrated list.
My underrated list?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually have Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Nice.
Which is a film I actually remember watching when I was little. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and also The Doors.
Another Oliver Stone film from that year that was. I remember I saw the teaser poster for that, and it was Val Kilmer, and I was like, "That's frightening."
That is weird.
That is way too close, and all he had to do was grow his hair out. Like that freaked me out.
Yeah, that's a good one. Billy Idol's in it too, which I think is really cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, I'll defer to you.
All right. Let's see. I got The Rocketeer because I really like that.
Jennifer Connelly, how you doing?
Ricky O, The Story of Ricky. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I just saw this movie and I was like, oh, that came out this year? Yes. And it's insane. Everyone should at least watch this once. And The Last Boy Scout, because there are sometimes Bruce Willis.
I love that movie. I unapologetically love that movie.
And Damon Wayans really helps.
$700 pants. There's not a TV in those or anything.
Yeah,
$700 for a pair of pants.
Cut it out with the mama shit. And I was like, come on, y'all, let me do one more.
The last girl that I dated before I met my wife, seriously, her uncle's the one that gets blown up in the Mustang. Bruce McGill is her uncle.
Dude, what's up with you and all these cool stories?
I'm like Kevin Bacon in the crap out of this episode. I'm just letting you know.
I want to go to his movie theater because all the celebrities are walking through it.
My movie theater's gone. It's a Walmart now.
It's like I know.
All right,
Rob, what was yours?
Number one, Backdraft.
That's a good one.
This is a film that was huge, and they did a sequel that was terrible, but the original Backdraft was really, really good. I went to a different Jennifer Connelly film, Career Opportunities.
I've only seen the gifts of that.
Career Opportunities is
but I want to watch this movie.
Well, you know how you have stuff in a trailer that doesn't wind up in the movie? This was one of the biggest ones of those, because Frank Whaley says to her, or no, she says to him, "Would you touch me if I was sweating?" And he goes, "I would touch you if you were covered with spiders." And it didn't make it into the film.
What?
Love that movie. And The Commitments was that year. If you have never seen this film, it is it's an Irish film. Robert Carlyle, before anybody knew who he was, is the lead singer of an R&B band called The Commitments. And their version of Mustang Sally was everywhere for about an hour and a half. But it's a very underrated film of him trying to get this band to make it, and the struggles, and it opens with him looking in the mirror like he's being interviewed. And it's very underrated. Great soundtrack, an amazing film that a lot of people I think have forgotten about.
Nice. I think we had Chaz. We had two guests that pulled all of the weight on the show. Do you realize that
I do.
For 91?
I do.
Okay.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. There's like maybe 7 or 8 movies that you all have mentioned that are super mainstream that I've seen, and then there are all these gems that I have not even heard of. And Randy just mentioned that movie being a GIF, and I don't know what GIF he's talking about. So,
like I said, it was such a crazy year for film. You can go even deeper into, because I just looked it up on Wikipedia and I was like, holy crap, that was this year. Like, it was an amazing year for film. Spike Lee released Jungle Fever that year. I'm trying to think of some other ones. It was an amazing year for film, which really made that 92 Oscars a hell of a show to watch, if nothing else.
Well, 92 is going to be, I don't know, Chaz, can we take a month and watch all of the years of all the movies from 92 and then do the show? It's like what we... Nah. We're going to keep going through this in the dark and bringing on guests to educate us and tell us about the movies that maybe we missed but should look back to. Because, look, we all watch the classics from all of the decades past. And when it comes to the ones that are like hidden gems or that just came out in a certain year, like we could say that about our 2015 films and stuff like that, but you don't really have that anymore with like 90s and 80s films. So I'm glad that we're doing this, and I want to thank my guests for coming on. Rob, I know you've got something going on tomorrow. Do you want to tell everybody what's going on?
Well, it's actually, we're recording tomorrow. You're going to be a part of it. Coming up next weekend, December 5th and 6th, I will be a part of a charity telethon that we do every year called Who Needs Sleep, where we will be broadcasting for 36 hours live on whoneedsleep.org. That is the website. And we raise money for 2 North Texas cancer research charities, for Cook Children's in Fort Worth and Cancer Support Communities North Texas. I'm actually the president of the board of directors. I've also got a couple of podcasts out there. If you're a fan of professional wrestling, it's called the Cheap Popcast. We also, since SummerSlam, have been doing watch-alongs for every pay-per-view, which has been a lot of fun. And I also am the host of the Clubhouse podcast, which is all things sports and pop culture. Both of those can be found at Vocal Now, VOKAL now.com. That is the network we're on. Patrick, I had the distinct honor of going up against in round 1 of Cast Off last year. I will be on this Tuesday night going up against Valerie Cameron as we recast the Royal Tenenbaums.
Ooh, it's going to be a good one. Please stay tuned for that, and check out the telethon that's going on tomorrow.
Next Saturday. We're recording our part of it's being recorded tomorrow. Telethon's next weekend. Nice. And that podcast is going to be a podcasters roundtable. We're going to have Valerie, we're going to have Patrick, we're going to have Craig Price, and we're going to talk about like what has happened to the podcasting industry in 2020. And that's going to air twice during the telethon next weekend. We'll be on the air from 8 a.m. December 5th until 8 p.m. December the 6th. So make sure you tune in. We're going to have podcast roundtables, bands. We're having a comedy roundtable. We have game shows, the whole nine.
Awesome. Thank you again for coming on. Brandy, Cult 45 podcast, what are you guys working on?
So right now we're working our way through the last of the Freddy movies. We're rounding the corner. We're coming to the end. Thank the good Lord. We got the new Nightmare coming up soon. I have to finish editing Freddy's Dead soon here, but that one's coming out almost in a couple days. And then in December, we're going to do our full-on Patreon month. Yes, if you go to patreon.com/cult45 and pay us $3 a month, we select a movie randomly each month. But on the December, I was like, we do the whole month. 4 weeks of just like, we pick sometimes the best, sometimes the worst, and sometimes just random. And this year was a mixture of both. And we picked, we got a bunch of movies. I put a Young Frankenstein, Taxi Driver, Future Wars, and I can't remember the last one. Oh well, I'm sure it'll come up eventually. But yeah, if you guys want to listen to more of me just talking about, or if you want to find like that Terminator 2 review I did, like I went real in depth about the time travel. You can find Cult 45 on Twitter and Instagram, and then Brandon actually later on in like 20 minutes maybe for right now, he's gonna be streaming on Twitch. We're really pushing Twitch now because we got an actual sponsor, which is awesome.
Whoa,
nice.
We got a sponsor to sponsor his Twitch. Yeah. So at twitch.com/cult45, you can find the Old Man Gamer, and he's going to be doing the Fallen Order. The Jedi game, Star Wars Fallen Order. Yeah. So
very cool. Well, both of you, again, you crushed it this episode. You did carry the episode because we're younglings. Chaz, over and under Artists Exposed. I'm not young anymore, though, by the way, because during Thanksgiving was yesterday. Okay, I know Thanksgiving was yesterday. Because when I was talking to family, they asked if I was 35. And I'm 29.
How old are you?
I'm 20 years old, not 35.
Somebody
And
asked me if I was 35, I would be totally okay with that.
I was like, oh, thanks, appreciate it.
That was the first time where I was like, oh no, I feel my age. And I tried to say like young catchy phrases, and I just felt like a fraud. Like,
I'm totally lit, guys.
No, really, I was like,
popping.
I don't know what I said. I think it was something like, that's sus. And then they just they all looked at me.
Oh,
They were like, the fuck?
At least you didn't say like something was on fleek.
On fleek.
It was. I think I said simp. And the new one that I found out, if somebody is trashing you, but they're like following you on social media or something, you say, oh, they're just a fan. It's like saying like
that's a bad thing.
They're nothing. Like, nah, they're just fans.
Fans are
You know what I
nothing.
mean?
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
I can see the
I know.
paperwork.
Fans mean nothing to me.
Or like you're just a side character. The stuff that the darn kids come up with now, it's pretty awesome.
It's gonna be just eating their own tail, I guess. Now.
Yeah.
It's all the Tide Pods I swallowed.
You just put out a vlog episode recently, and it was your birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy returns.
No, I did a vlog. It's up on my YouTube channel. It's just a 5-minute little thing of me being like, yo, be safe on Thanksgiving. We'll see if anybody watched it. Probably not.
I watched it.
Oh, thank you. And then I also have my podcast, and I have a new one out today. And I talked with Emily Ashby, who was in my short film and was nominated for some awards for that. So it was fun catching up with her.
Well, you all are awesome. Again, you can check us out, patrickbeattyreviews.com. The newest ones that we've done, Marini's Black Bottom, Sound of Metal is coming out this weekend. And ABC4 Good Things Utah, you can catch me every Fridays. We've got the Button Mashing Podcast, which is the new gaming podcast every Wednesday. Once again, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you at the next review.